Good morning, it's Tom Hutchins here from Magic Software UK. You should be able to see my screen with the PowerPoint presentation. I'll be joined today by Torsten from our German office, who's the expert who does the implementation for this very interesting Speed Start package. So before we get going, I just want to explain to you that this is, sorry, just got a bit of interference on the line. So the Speed Start that we're talking about today is an extra tool that you can use alongside our existing integration tool. It's a part of that. It does not remove the flexibility that is inherent in the Magic toolset. So today I'm going to give an introduction to Magic, our approach to integration, why you might be interested in Speed Start, how it works. Then I shall hand over to Torsten, who will give you some further details and demonstration, and then we can have a brief Q&A session at the end. So Magic Software has been around for 30 years. We had our first IPO in 1991. We're traded on the Nasdaq Stock Exchange, and we're a member of the Asseco Group, which is one of Europe's largest groups of technology companies. We are experts in innovative technology. We provide application development and integration platforms, and we focus on your business needs. We have 15 offices worldwide. We operate with customers in over 50 countries, and we have over 2,500 global partners. Our office is located from both North and South America, Asia, and throughout Europe and South Africa. So our approach, this looks complicated, but actually it's all to do with workflows, and this just shows you how complex a very simple thing can be. We want to take data from different teams, different systems, and put it into one single flow that will run seamlessly. For that, we use Magic XPI Integration Platform, which is a business process integration suite for integrating data between diverse applications. The applications can be from SAP, SharePoint, Dynamics, Force.com, and Salesforce platforms. Oracle, Lotus. We work on endpoints from .NET and Java. Unipaz, our own, the previous version of our XPA application platform. Various different protocols from SOAP, REST, WebSphere, many others. So to show you how simple a complicated thing can become, this example shows you Magic XPI with a Salesforce and SAP integration. Sorry, I think we might be having a couple of technical problems. Let me just check briefly. Is everything okay? Okay, seems to be okay. So here what we see is the flow from an incoming lead into Salesforce system right through to payment in SAP. And goes from the incoming lead, becomes qualified with sales and marketing, through the sales life cycle, all that within the Salesforce system, then seamlessly transmitted to SAP for the verification, the information check that the client can actually pay, back to Salesforce for the negotiation, back to SAP for delivery, billing, and payment. So you can get one flow which is seamlessly take your client through. So Magic XPI is a code-free metadata platform. You never need to do any coding with visual, data mapping, drag and drop software tool that will take the integration between the different programs that you want, using a large library of pre-built components which are actually certified by the developers of the software themselves. So our SAP component is certified by SAP, for example. We're a certified SAP software partner. We use drag and drop process orchestration, with certified Salesforce App Exchange partner, and our step-by-step wizards simplify the integration process. Magic XPI runs a high-performance server across multiple platforms with built-in 24/7 availability and robustness, with built-in elastic scalability, with extended monitoring and management capabilities, certified optimized connectors for SAP, Salesforce, Oracle, JD Edwards, and many others, and we use native database gateways. A new thing in our latest version of Magic XPI, XPI 4, is an in-memory data grid. This is the sort of technology used by companies like Facebook and Google to provide very high fault tolerance, redundancy, scalability, and very high transaction speed. Uses clustering to provide failover capabilities out of the box, improved error recovery, and guarantees message delivery, elastic scalability, parallel processing, and better system management facilities. We could do an entire webinar session just on how this in-memory data grid works. I'm just giving you a very high-level overview here. Magic XPI is also ready for mobile deployment because we use a single technology stack. The XPI side can take data from a wide range of databases and frameworks and different enterprise applications, and then on the server hand that over to Magic XPA application platform, which is a comprehensive platform to develop mobile, web, SOA and desktop applications which run natively on any client. So the value of Magic is a simple, code-free metadata approach, a business focus that isolates technology, comprehensive stack, an adaptive and productive environment, it's highly scalable and proven. So integrating Magic XPI, your current situation might well be that you have business-critical data stuck in siloed systems, frustrating both users and IT, disconnected teams with ad hoc, inefficient and unreliable processes, and that means that management's taking decisions based on inaccurate data and losing your competitive advantage. The majority of your business users won't have direct access to their important data. A very small percentage of the organization is licensed to be able to access data directly. So the question has to be, is there an efficient way to bridge the value gap? Well, we believe that no system should be considered to be an island, that although you have different systems, workflows run between them. So we think that, for example, with Salesforce, integrating it with other systems is essential for the internal processes. It gives you a 360-degree customer view across all business units, reduces errors and manual duplication of entry, gives reliable data, which is the basis for correct business decisions, reduces your processing costs, improves satisfaction both of your employees and your customers, increases your company efficiency, and helps you achieve operational efficiencies. The challenge, of course, is that your current environment could possibly be represented a bit like this. Everything's working across purposes. How do you seamlessly get them into one flow? Because every system has its own infrastructure, you have a mass of different APIs. You might well have to integrate between on-premise, even very old legacy boxes, to new cloud services, some of which will be consumer rather than enterprise-oriented services. A data exchange, either via CSV files or data loading, is not sufficient. Traditional integration will require a lot of coding to achieve business orchestration, and that coding has to be rebuilt every time anything changes in your system. And requirements such as error handling, triggering, monitoring logic, and BPM are very hard to build in. From the customer's perspective, what that looks like is you don't have a real view of who they are across every system. You don't have real-time data, and transferring data between departments can take a long time, which means that everything's slow and frustrating. From the enterprise perspective, what you want to do is optimize and change your business processes, harmonize system architectures and integrate them with your field staff, external partners, customers and suppliers all working together seamlessly. Magic XPI sits in between all the other systems that you might have, being able to be the bridge between all these different islands. So, as we said earlier, Magic XPI is a metadata-driven platform for process and data integration, with drag and drop functionality, a very easy configuration of business processes, with easy to use, low maintenance and code-free graphical views of the process. The integration platform enables you to synchronize and integrate data between different applications, systems and solutions, providing a workflow-based interface, giving high-level process automation, a real-time view of your processes and activities. So rather than just data exchange and loading, it also fits your future requirements and compliance. They're certified by a wide range of partners, making us an intelligent integration platform enabling services for both standard and legacy systems with a wide range of configurable components, from application adapters, technical connectors, infrastructure components, and you can even develop your own adapter if you have new systems. We build those and get them certified. It's ready for mobile, and there's no coding. So you might want to use it in ways such as bidirectional central maintenance of customer and vendor information, to display financial data from back-end ERP systems into a CRM, illustrating complete lead cycle process, using BI dashboards to consolidate sales information from back-end systems, and integrating chatter-style messaging tools in ERP processes, making it very easy to flow through the business and for various people in different business units to easily communicate about a single opportunity. So just to show you how chatter might work with an ERP process, you have here your chatter and your ERP system, and then you can put in XPI monitor so you can actually see how the XPI is working. So if I just go back, you can actually get the chatter. See here, there's actually a SAP account was created and it turns up in your chatter feed. So the messaging tool actually runs between different systems. You can follow an SAP account in your Salesforce chatter, for instance. We have various different editions of Magic XPI for Salesforce, depending on your own requirements and size. And that can be anything from certain size servers to a per user per month model, which is very flexible. So coming to the real focus of today's presentation, the SpeedStarts tool. SpeedStarts is a pre-configured integration between SAP and Salesforce, built in Magic XPI with NetWeaver and Force.com. What it provides is the most common processes that our customers ask us to integrate between SAP and Salesforce, ready out of the box, giving you the flexibility to build your integration solution to your needs around a pre-built core, even with a highly customized SAP system. It does not take away the inherent flexibility of the XPI platform. It's just a quicker way of doing the things that our customers most often ask us to do. So it provides fast and easy integration of SAP and Salesforce. Objectives are to reduce process cycle times and costs while increasing effectiveness and productivity. We need to integrate business applications and systems, but the challenge is to perform quick and easy implementation of the integration solution while being prepared for future changes and easily being able to perform maintenance and expansion work. So the starter pack is predefined, pre-configured integration modules, resources, templates, business processes, along with our experience of countless SAP Salesforce projects. So it's a very fast and simple integration of the most common parts of SAP and Salesforce, which is ready for use out of the box, very flexible, very customizable, easy and inexpensive to maintain, and certified by both SAP and Salesforce.com. It's a core around which you can build the rest of your very configured implementation. So it works with many SAP objects, from customer accounts, quotes, invoices, orders, and pricing, as well as Salesforce objects such as accounts, contacts, product, price book, chatter, and custom objects. The data synchronization is done in the background, but you get salesforce.com SAP mashup by opening SAP window in Salesforce. It all works out of the box and doesn't take away the native flexibility of the tool. So what we provide as graphics showing the basic way of that this works. It's a very clear, the most common integrations that our customers want. That's the speed start. Going from SAP debitor, product, quotes and orders through speed start to Salesforce account and customized objects. Typically, integration projects are complex, lengthy, involve custom coding, and future changes mean more work. With Magic Speed Start integration, the projects are fast, simple, repeatable, proven, and future-proof. So thank you. I'm now going to hand over to my colleague Torsten. Let me just set him up. Make a presenter. Yes. Torsten, go ahead please. Torsten, I think we might still be talking to mute. Let me just make sure that everything is correct. Okay, sorry about that. Go ahead please.
Now I got the information that you can hear me, so I want to say a very wonderful good morning to you all guys in the UK. Thanks Tom for inviting me to this WebEx. I'm going to give you now a short overview about the Speed Start package, and I will also show you within the product how easy it is to integrate SAP with Salesforce.com. I have prepared some few slides to give you a better overview. There are one or two slides that you already have seen in the presentation by Tom, so I tried to go very briefly over those slides. I just want to give you an overview and talk a little bit about the structure and certain demo scenarios we have created within the Speed Start package. So this is some slide you could see before, and this is the brief overview about what we have done in the Speed Start package. So you can see that there is a bidirectional synchronization between the customers and accounts that reside on the SAP system with the accounts and contacts that reside on the Salesforce system. This means that it does not matter on which side you're adding or changing customer data. Both will be synchronized with the other side. There are some more objects that are being transferred only from one side to the other. This is everything that comes from the financial part, from the SAP system. So any quote, any invoice and orders and pricing information, for instance, they are only being transferred upon request to the Salesforce part. So there are also some certain custom objects where I'm going to talk about in a few minutes a bit more in detail. We also transfer the material master data from SAP to Salesforce, and of course we have integrated different social networks. This is something that's getting more and more important in today's world. So for each new customer that we create on the system, we get a notification either on the Salesforce Chatter, and there are also optional feeds to Facebook and to Twitter. And also we can create calendar entries for the sales people that they get a task to call new customers. So the overview, these are the certain parts and objects we've been using, but I think the more important issue is the content of the package. So the package consists on 3 parts. We have created some user-defined functions in the SAP side. So there are some RFC functions. They are called Z functions. You can see them on the left side. You can see some of them. These are the functions we have created due to the fact that they are not existing in a standard SAP system. So we try to use as many from the standard RFC functions that are being offered from SAP. But there are some things that do not exist, and we took the opportunity to create our own functions. There is, for instance, one function that gives you all changes that are being done on the SAP side for all objects that are related to the customer. So if you change the phone number, for instance, of a contact that belongs to a customer, this means that the next time the SpeedStart package tries to ask the SAP system what has been changed, then it gets a notice that the phone number of a contact has been changed. So this change will be also reflected on the SAP system. On the Salesforce system. Of course, we also did some customization on the Salesforce side because we are transferring objects, partner roles, sales areas, and so on and so forth from SAP to Salesforce. And such objects, they do not exist on the Salesforce side. So we have created some customized Salesforce objects. And of course, we need to save, for instance, the SAP debtor number also within the Salesforce account, because this is the way how we do the matching between the Salesforce ID and the SAP ID. And of course, last but not least, this is the most important part. This is the Magic XPI project. This is the project that is doing all the synchronization between the various objects. So to give you a brief overview about the demo scenarios that we have within this package, there are certain scenarios, and this package has been created in a way that it will take up to 5 days to implement this package into your organization. Of course, there might be some changes because everyone is using SAP in a different way. So we tried to find the common things. We synchronize the common things, and if there are any special things, of course, we are able to adjust all those synchronization processes and adapt it to your way of working with SAP. So the most important ones are the first 3 ones. So the first one is that you can create a debtor in SAP, and as I said, there is a flow within the Magic XPI that is querying the SAP system. It goes to the change log of SAP, because this is the only way in SAP to find all the changes, and it queries the change log for all change objects that are relating to the customer object, and they are being transferred to to Salesforce. Of course, you have the ability to modify and create accounts and contacts on the Salesforce side, and then they are being transferred to SAP. While transfer from SAP to Salesforce, there are some sub-objects that will be created within Salesforce, and we also did some jumping points to SAP within the Salesforce user interface. So we have created some buttons that simply allows you to get more information from the SAP system itself. So once you click on such a button, you are being redirected to the HTML GUI from SAP itself. I already talked about the integration of social networks like Facebook and Twitter, of course Google Plus and other social networks can be also integrated quite easy. We have the ability to transfer products and prices, and of course once there is an order that gets created in SAP, or a new customer that is being created in SAP, it gets transferred to the Salesforce Chapter. So within the demo scenario, you have certain abilities, for instance, to create a debtor using the VDO1 transaction on SAP, and once you have done in that way, the Magic XPI trigger starts, and the Speed Start package gets this debtor and transfers it to the accounts and objects of Salesforce. So just to give you some overview about how this could look like, here you can see the screenshot from SAP, where I just have entered some data, and I'm also entering some account-based data. This is a contact for the account that I've just entered here, and this is an overview about the XPI project itself. So this shows a graphical meaning of the Magic XPI flow that is being used to transfer the debtor with all related data to Salesforce. So you can see on the left blue side, which is the SAP side, you can see there is a flow called Get All Debtors, and they are being transferred using Magic XPI to the Salesforce side. So once this synchronization has finished, you can see that the same account is also on the Salesforce side. Of course, you get some information within Chapter. You can see here on this hard copy that there are some orders that have been created for a customer called Becker Berlin, and so on and so forth. These are some examples. Of course, you can also use the Chapter on any mobile device, and so on and so forth. I'm just going back one slide. You can see here also a link within the Chapter. So under the name Becker Berlin, you can see that there is a SAP order number something, and you can see a link under this SAP order number. And once you click on this link, then the HTML GUI of SAP opens, and you get more information to that customer. So there is a synchronization, and also there are some jumping points that you can that allows you to jump from Salesforce to SAP back and get more information. This is the entry that gets created on the Google Calendar. Please contact the new account. This is the phone number. This is what you can see in the description. So also from the account itself within Salesforce, you have also the ability using a button to jump to the HTML GUI from SAP. This is a hard copy that shows the Salesforce customized objects, the new objects like the partner roles from SAP, like the sales areas, which is in the top of the hard copy. And these are also objects that can be customized if you want to have more information in these tables. Of course, this is possible in a very easy and convenient way, because it's not that much complicated within Salesforce itself to create or change data that is being showed on the user interface itself. On the bottom, you can see orders and quotes. And also here you have the ability to jump into the orders and get the certain position from those orders and quotes. And from within the order, from the position, you can also jump back to SAP to get all the detailed information if this is necessary. This again is done using a button within the Salesforce user interface. The following slide, you can see an example for using Facebook. So you can see in the top of the hard copy that an account was being created from a SAP debtor with its name and so on and so forth. The same belongs to Twitter, so we just have integrated those APIs into the Magic XPI integration platform. I think this should do for the moment. There are some more slides, but I think it's more interesting for you how to do integration between Salesforce and SAP, and this is where I'm going to the product itself. So now I'm switching to the Magic XPI Studio, and I'm going to give you a very quick overview about what is necessary to get data from the SAP system and to transfer this data to, for example, to a Salesforce system. So this is the studio that you can see here on the screen. And before I can transfer data, I have to define some resources. So this is the first thing that I do. I'm opening the resource settings within Magic XPI, and here you can see that I'm having several SAP and Salesforce systems. So for any SAP system, I have to define a certain number of parameters that gives the connection to that system, and also I have the ability to validate the connection to the system itself. This might take a second, and once the connection has been validated, I'm getting the information that the connection was established successfully. I can do the same, of course, with my Salesforce. Of course, the amount of information is different, so because this belongs to the system itself. So once I validate it to Salesforce, I'm also getting the information that the connection to Salesforce was established successfully. Okay, this is the first and important thing that I need to do, and then I can start to create my integration flows. Just to give you a brief overview about Magic XPI itself. First thing that we have is the topology. So this is more or less a graphical overview about what systems have been connected to the Magic XPI integration platform. So first you are going to create some kind of applications. So you can just create a new application, give it an icon, and you simply drag the application on the desktop and connect it to the Magic XPI server. This is, by the way, the very easy and graphical way how to work with the Magic XPI integration platform. Once I've created the topology, I can create a business process. This is something that has to do with documentation. So once I do this, I do not create any technical processes. This is what I'm doing in the third and the last step. But there is one important thing, because from this documentation you can directly jump into the integration flow itself. For each icon where I have a small f, which is in a circle left to the icon, this is abbreviation for me that tells me that there is a flow that has been assigned. So once I click on the flows, I can see there is a flow that has been assigned, and I can move to the flow, and now I am within the technical flow. So this, from that point on, I'm in the technical realization of the integration process. So here on the left side, I'm having all the components that are existing within the Magic XPI integration platform. And just to show you in a very brief way how it works and how it can be done, for instance, when using the email component, I double-click on the email component, And once I've done this, I can see all the methods that are existing for the email component. If I want to send the mail, I just check or choose the quick send method, and I'm just dragging it on the workplace and putting it on the last step that I've just created, clicking on configuration, and I'm getting this standardized interface with a list of parameters, types of parameters, the size, the picture of the parameters, the way if they are in or out parameters, and the values. You can see the to parameter is in bold letters, which means this is a mandatory parameter. All the other parameters in normal letters, they are not mandatory. So the only thing I need to do is just entering some data here, some email address, and that's it. Of course, it's way more than entering static data. I can press on the F button, on the function button, and once I've done this, I'm getting to an expression window that allows me to do any kind of calculations. We have a very big number of functions that can be used. There are several hundred functions that allow me to cast data from one format to the other, to work with date functions, with time functions, and so on and so forth. So this is more or less, you can compare it with defining a cell within Microsoft Excel. So this is more or less the same you can do here. So any kind of calculations, even calling functions that are user created or programs that can be created within our SDK can be called here in this way, allowing you to do almost anything you want. So this is what needs to be done. You have to define all the parameters. Of course, you can define variables and so on and so forth. Press OK twice, and then you see that the email has been assigned as a last point, as a last step within this flow. Okay, going to delete this because this is not necessary for our example. This was just an introduction in how Magic XPI is working in general. Now I'm going back to a very, very easy example. Just want to show you quick and briefly how you can transfer debtors from SAP to Salesforce.com. So the first step is a placeholder. NOP is the abbreviation for no operation, which means this is a step that does nothing. I can replace it later on through any existing component, or I'm using these no operation servers for defining breakpoints. So more or less the first step that is being executed in this flow is the SAP step, and this is something that works really quite easy and quite fast. The only thing I have to do, I have to press on the configuration, and I have to decide whether I'm going to use an IDOC, because we support inbound and outbound IDOCs, of course, or we can use BAPIs or RFCs. So this is what I have to decide, and once I do so, I can select the RFC group or the RFC name. So for instance, if I don't know the RFC group name, then I can enter something with a star, with an asterisk to search. And now the Magic XPI integration platform is connecting to the SAP system that is running somewhere in the cloud, and gives me all the information about what RFC groups I am having on the system, starting with ZST10. So this is the group where all the components are defined that we have created for the SpeedStart package. So I'm just selecting this package, and within the next lookup window, I can see all those components that we have created to get data from the SAP system. And this is one component I'm going to use now for this little example. The key NA table is the debtor table on the SAP system, and I just created a very small example that allows me to read the debtor table on the SAP system. So this is the RFC name that I have selected, and the next important information is I need to define where to store the result in. So I have created a small variable called f.sapDebtors, and this is the variable where I'm storing the result from calling the SAP system. Once I click OK, I'm being forwarded to one of the most important components from the Magic XPI integration platform, which is our data mapper. You will see a full flavored example with the data mapper in the next step ahead. Here in this step, I only have to define the destination part, and once I click on map, I'm getting an information about how the SAP component is looking like. So this means for the first time Magic XPI is talking to the SAP system, it's querying information about this RFC component and puts it into an XML schema. So this is very important because this can also reflect any change. So once you further develop this RFC component, you just have to recreate the or reread the schema definitions, and then you can also work with enhanced versions of those RFC components. For SAP, it's very important to have the import parameter section. This is what I'm using here in this example. So there is a zip code. This is the German abbreviation for a zip code. So I'm just entering a German zip code here to get data from a certain city. So this is just in order for this small example to reduce the number of results. So I'm asking the SAP system to give me all the debtors from this zip code, which is a part of Frankfurt. So this is the step to get data. Then there is a very basic error handling within this component. You can see in the blue written letters that there is a c.sys.error code equals 0. Then it goes on the left side, and if the error code is not equal 0, then it goes to the right side and sends the error message. So this means I can have branches, and I can define conditions for the branches. So here I'm just entering, and you've seen this expression window before. I'm just entering the condition. This is one of the already existing variables that are existing for each step and each flow, and this is one of the most important ones, because if the error code is 0, everything's fine, there was no error. Magic XPI was able to get the data from the SAP system. So we can continue here on this way, and on the other side, if there is an error code which is not equal to 0, I'm just entering a message. This is in German. It's similar to there is an error, and the error description is as the following. This is the message I'm putting to the Magic XPI monitor, so everyone that's monitoring the Magic XPI servers can read this message. Once I've sent this message, there is a go back to the SAP step. This means quite easy that it tries to recall the SAP step and get information from SAP. If everything's okay, I'm calling the Salesforce.com component, and you see more or less the Salesforce component is quite similar to the SAP component. So with the SAP, I have to deal with iDocs and with RFCs. Within Salesforce, I have to deal with objects. So if I press on the lookup table for the objects, I just get a list of all the objects that are existing on my system, and of course I can also scroll through it. And I think in the back, no, where are the user defined? I don't see them for the moment, but I'm getting also all kind of user-defined objects here. And The next thing I have to do based on the object, I have to define an operation. You can see here that we also support the bulk API, which is important if you want to import mass data to the Salesforce.com systems. So we can use the normal API and the bulk API. In this example, I'm simply using the create operation. So this means for each customer, for each debtor that I'm getting from Salesforce, I'm creating a new record within Salesforce.com. If I press on OK, then I'm being forwarded to the data mapper. On the left side, I have to define the source. And here you can see that the source is belonging to a data source, which is a variable called f.sapdators. This is exactly the variable that I have defined as a result in the previous step. Next thing I have to do, I have to define the schema for the XML file, and this is exactly the schema that we have already seen in the SAP step. And this is the schema file that has been generated automatically from Magic XPI once it talks the first time to the SAP system. So if I go to map, then I can see all the mappings. I'm going to expand the tree views on both sides. So here you can see the mappings that I've done, and it's quite easy to do a mapping. So I simply select the value on the source side and drag it to the source, to the destination side. I can do any kind of mappings. I can do one-to-one mappings like I've done here, but I'm also able to do more-to-one mappings. Here on this example, you can see that the name 1 and name 2 field from the SAP side are being transferred to one name field on the Salesforce side, and once I click on this F button, I can see that there is some kind of calculation that has been done. In this example, I'm just concatenating the two values from the SAP system, putting a space in between, and that's it. So this means you can do any kind of calculations, you can call any kind of functions, you can even on the green line on the top, which is the record line, you can even define conditions when a record has to be transferred or not. So there are lots of functionalities that can be defined within this data mapper. I was simply using something very easy here in this example, so just using some fields from the SAP side, transferring them to the Salesforce side. Yeah, and as you can see, this is everything I need to do. So these are more or less two very easy steps that I can use for to send data from SAP to Salesforce, and to show you how it works in the debugging mode. I'm just activating the debug mode within Magic XPI. So there is also the possibility to debug all the flows. It takes a second to start this flow and to debug it, because now the XPI Studio is checking if everything is all right within the flow and within the project. And okay, here I'm getting a problem. Unfortunately, I'm getting a problem with my database because the system was shut down for a second. I have to restart the studio. This is when you have an automatic shutdown with the laptops. I'm sorry for this.
Okay, thanks, Torsten. But actually, no, I can hear him. Torsten, can I just check? Was that the end of your demo, or are you still doing more?
No. I'm going to show the debugger in a second. I just had a problem with the connection to my internal database that was broken for some reason. I'm just restarting the studio.
Not a problem. I'll let you carry on.
And if you give me another 2 seconds, I'm there where I stopped. So I'm just restarting the debug, and now it should work. Because I also want to give your audience the possibility to see that it's really easy and it's really fast, and that you can also use the debugger to see what's going on there. So it's generating everything, and now I'm in the debugging mode, and just to check what's going on, I'm defining a breakpoint on the left side, and in case we're getting an error message, I'm also defining a breakpoint here on this side. And now the debugger is started. I've defined my breakpoints, and I simply choose the run option from the debugger menu. Now Magic XPI is starting the project. Of course, it takes a while, and of course, it's way slower than running in a real system, in a real scenario in the background. But once it does, I think it's also important to give you some information about the architecture that is running in the background, because we have some really interesting things here which we have introduced with the latest Magic XPI version 4 in the spring of this year, because we changed our whole infrastructure to an in-memory data grid-based infrastructure. This means we automatically give you the ability to create an active cluster, so you can have as many machines as you want. You can have load balancing, and you have an enormous availability with guaranteed message delivery of all informations and requests that are being sent to the Magic XPI platform. So this is really something that runs 24/7 with no interruptions. And once I was talking about this, you can see that on the left side that we have reached the breakpoint, and this means the Magic XPI project stopped at this point. And now I can go, for instance, to the context view, opening the context view, and here I can see the different variables. For example, this is the result from the SAP step, and once I take a look here, you can see that it found someone called Justus in Frankfurt, and that was the zip code that I was using to get the data. There are different kinds of variables. For instance, here you can see all the context-based variables, and if we look into the user blob, this is the return what I'm getting from Salesforce. These are the Salesforce IDs, the unique IDs that it used to create all the new customers. So I can see that they've been transferred here, and let me, for the last step, just open my Salesforce system and show you the data that has been transferred to the Salesforce system. I just have to log into the system. Just need the right login. So once I'm logged into Salesforce, I'm just switching to the account object. Takes a second. Here are the accounts. And within the accounts, I have created a view, show me all the customers from Frankfurt, from this zip code. Unfortunately, I had no time to clean this view, so there are some customers that you can see more than once. But for instance, if I go to this customer, then you can see today it's November the 22nd. It's 5 minutes before 12, at least in Germany. So you can see that this is a record that has just been created by the Magic Integration Platform. Yeah, this is the place where I'm going to stop the demo. I hope I could give you a brief overview about the content of the Speed Start package and also about how easy it is to extend and expand the capabilities and to adjust all the integration functions that you have created using the Magic XPI platform. If you have any questions, you can raise them to Tom or directly to me, and I'll be happy to assist you with that. And until this, I'm handing back over to Thomas.
Okay, thank you, Torsten. It was a fantastic demo session. So, just to remind you, if you have a question, you can type them into the questions or chat windows. We'll read them out to Torsten because we've had some issues with the audio in the past. We've actually got a couple of questions already, Torsten, quite interesting ones. The first one, how would you say the typical project time of a Speed Start compares to normal Magic XPI and also to using other tools?
Compared to using other tools, there is a big difference, because within Magic XPI, I think you could see very clearly that you don't have to develop any program. It's only more or less dragging components together and defining the properties of the certain methods. So this is way faster than doing manually point-to-point interfaces. Also, the Magic Speed Start package is helping you to integrate SAP with Salesforce, because, as said before, we have tried to put the most important interfaces that are in use with each customer that is using SAP and Salesforce at the same time, so that the common integration issues are being created as a template that can be adapted and integrated into any customer environment very easily. So we have done a lot of installations on customer sites, and using the Speed Start package, we are able to apply all those functionalities I've been talking about within 5 days. Of course, if there are certain requirements that have to be developed additionally, this takes, of course, a little bit more time. But it's anyhow, it's way faster than doing this with any other kind of integration platform or even with one-to-one interfaces.
Okay, thank you, Torsten. That's a very interesting answer. The second question, I'm pretty sure the answer to this one is no effect at all, but if you could just confirm for us, does using the XPI and the Smart Speed Start have any effect on maintenance with SAP or Salesforce?
No, it does not have any effect.
Okay, thank you. And the final question that I have here is, what are the hardware requirements for XPI and for the Speed Start? And are there capacity limitations, for example, data transfer?
No, there are no limitations regarding data transfer. What I said a few minutes before is that Magic XPI relies on an in-memory data grid-based architecture, which allows you to partition your data. So you can have any number of Magic XPI integration servers running in parallel, allowing you to transfer more or less any number of data. So there are no limitations. It's really scalable. It's scalable in a vertical and in a horizontal way, which allows you also to build further requirements very easy into the system. The hardware requirements, of course, depend on the number of requests that are received that are being received by a Magic XPI integration platform. So it's not that easy to give you some kind of recipe. If you have 10 requests per second, you need this and that. But easy spoken. If you have a Windows server that gives a good, that has a good answering manner, then also the Magic XPI platform will run very, very good on it.
Okay, thank you very much. I don't see any more questions here, so thank you for joining us, Torsten. It's been very interesting. We'll go ahead and end the call. If you have any questions that you haven't had a chance to ask, oh, sorry, there is one that's just come in now. Is there a cloud service for Magic XPI?
Not yet. Yet there is no cloud service. Of course, you can install Magic XPI yourself on any cloud-based system. This is not a problem. It's been on our roadmap to create some cloud-based systems for our integration platform, but yet there is no schedule for it. So something we have on the roadmap, but not defined yet.
Okay, thank you. And thank you to everyone who's attended the session. I hope you found it interesting. And I think we'll go ahead and give you some of your morning back. So thank you all for joining. Thank you, Torsten, for presenting. And I hope to speak to you again soon.